KC's Audio Vault.
Louis C.K., July 16th, 2009.
All right, Winnipeg.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we just announced earlier this week that Just for Laughs presents Louis C.K. live in Canada, October 16th at the Burton Cummings Theatre. Tickets on sale this Monday, the 20th. You've written for Dana Carvey, Chris Rock, Letterman, Conan O'Brien. You got your own movies, HBO sitcom, but now you're doing a Canadian theatre tour. What's the deal? Has Louis C.K. hit hard times?
Hell no, it's a great thing to do with theaters in Canada. I mean, I've been on tour doing stand-up exclusively for the last 2 years or so all around the States, and I've run out of the cities in America, so I'm coming up there. I mean, I play Canada all the time, though, Toronto and Vancouver. To me, the road that's the great place to be. You actually make more money doing that than you do television. Television's very sporadic, and you got to sit in an office. I'd much rather be on a stage in front of 1,000 people or so.
Do you find that Canadian audiences are quieter or something? Some people just say that we're just too quiet.
Well, I love a quiet audience. A quiet audience is interested in what they're listening to, you know? A loud audience that's whooping and hollering, they're interested in themselves and being, demonstrating. You know what I mean? Whereas an audience who's sitting and listening, that's a great compliment for a comic. I love Canadian audiences, honestly. I don't want to sound like a bigot for the positive, but I've always had great shows in Canada. People are smart and thoughtful there, and they like good comedy.
What about Winnipeg in particular?
Winnipeg is one of the toughest gigs I ever played, too. Winnipeg, there was a club there called Rumors. I remember back in the 80s, you had to do Rumors for 2 weeks. It wasn't like a, Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. You had to live there at the Viscount Gort Hotel for 2 weeks. I'll never forget this because I was there in the winter. I stayed at this place, the Viscount Gort, and there was a shopping mall literally like 150 feet away, like just right across the parking lot. And I was leaving to go to the shopping mall, and the woman at the front desk goes, "Where are you going?" And I go, "I'm going to the mall." I'm pointing. I could see it from here. And she says, "I'll call you a cab." And I was like, "That's crazy. It's right there." And so I go outside, and immediately my nose starts bleeding. Like blood is gushing out of my nose because of how cold it is. My cheeks are black. I look like I'm being airlifted off of Everest after a bad storm. I come back in, and she goes, "Yeah, I called you a cab." So every day for 2 weeks, I took a 30-second cab ride from the Viscount Gort to the mall across the way.
Well, this time around, you're coming in October, so you may need a parka.
Well, I'm a man now. I can take it. I'm a grown-up. I've got 2 kids, and it was 7 and 4, so I can take anything. I mean, I wake up with people screaming at me, so I'm toughened now.
What did you name your children? You always bring in the family bit into the comedy. What name did you give your child, and how did you make this decision, or did your wife decide how to name the 2 children?
Well, my first daughter, I'm not going to tell you their names just because of Googling perverts, but my first daughter, my wife named her. She just, as soon as she came out, my wife looked at her and said, "Don't you think this is her name?" And I said, "Yeah," because you're not going to argue with somebody who just was in labor for 20 hours with this person who's been carrying them for 9 months and then got cut open and got this kid dragged out of her. I'm looking at my wife's split open abdomen and a new baby, and she says, here's her name. I'm like, dude, totally, whatever you want. The second one was named after my mom, so that was a gift from my wife, my now ex-wife, but my wife. Probably one of the nicest things she ever did for me was name my daughter after my mom.
Do you like being on the road away from the kids for a little while? Is it a break?
I get to be with my kids more than most working people because I'm with my kids from Monday through Thursday, and I'm with them 100% of the time. Like, I'm a stay-at-home dad. And then I go on the road, generally Thursday night through Sunday night. Most people have dinner. Most working dads or moms have breakfast and dinner with their kid, and then the weekends, and that's it.
How does your family react to you bringing out the family stuff on the road?
Well, they're not at the shows, and they put the roof over their head, so that's kind of the way it's always worked. But no, it's your life. You get comedy from your life, so that's where I've always gotten it.
My girlfriend just moved in with me. I was thinking you probably would have some advice for me.
Your girlfriend moved in with you? Listen, what could really really go wrong? Well, it doesn't really matter until you have kids. That's the way I always look at it. You can, if you don't have children, people that are married and don't have children, they're just dating and they threw a party and annoyed all their friends. It doesn't really matter. I mean, until you have kids, nothing is really, there's no stakes. Bring her in your house, have a good time. And the moment you're not having a good time, kick her out.
And what makes it worse, she moved in last week, and today is her birthday. Do you handle birthdays well?
Sure. I mean, you just got to look, you got to give up all the things that you like. Here's what I've learned about having a family or a relationship or children. Give up on yourself. All the things that you like and that you enjoy, just give up on them. And live for the other people, for your kids or your wife or your girlfriend. Because it actually works, because you'll start to enjoy their having a good life. And then if you pick the good one, if you pick the right one, they'll give it back to you. If you didn't, you're going to die miserable. But you're probably going to do that anyway.
You're a little bit of a YouTube sensation. That appearance at Conan O'Brien got more than 1 million hits. Do you like YouTube? You seem to use it quite a bit. Are you embracing technology?
Listen, YouTube is awesome. YouTube is like the perfect democratic entertainment distribution system, because nobody has to pay for it, and folks only see stuff if they want to see it, if it's the kind of thing they like. Your friend sends you something because they thought you'd like it, and they were probably right. Or you search for stuff, and you find it that way. It's so much better than television, where you have like the side of a bus screaming at you with some person's coiffed head saying you have to watch this show. And then it's at, during, you're trying to watch a baseball game and they keep telling you like who's on Fox. I just don't care. And then you get pushed to watch stuff. In movies, it's just like constant barrage of this, you have to watch the next X-Men movie. Well, I don't want to, but I feel like I'm going to, because I've just been told so many times. But YouTube, you just get guided to what you like by your own, what you're into.
With that freedom, anybody can access it. Anyone can make comments. And whenever I go down and look at the comments, I feel bad for the human race, because there's so many morons with opinions.
Hey, listen, they've always been there. The thing about the comments on the internet is that we think that it's sort of like created this breed of idiot. These people have always been there. They just never had a place to write stuff down before. So it's just, we're facing what we really are as a people with the comments. And I think that that's probably healthy on some level.
A lot of the people in the States lost their jobs recently, a bit of tough times. Do you think people need to go out and see a comedy show like Louis C.K., or do you find it harder to fill a room because people don't have the expendable income?
Well, this year I booked my tour that I just did in the States. I just finished a tour called Hilarious that ended in around May, and I was booking that tour in September, October, which is when the economy really crashed in a day. So we lowered ticket prices. I mean, I saw it coming, and I didn't want it to be a painful decision to come to see me. So we went down in ticket prices across the board, and I had great audiences all year. People do want to spend money on seeing a show. What's unfair is to leverage that and make them pay more, which some people probably do. I don't know.
We're talking to comedian Louis C.K. His show hits the Burton Cummings Theater Friday, October 16th. Tickets through Ticketmaster, $35.50. Thank you, Louis, for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
All the interviews you want on iTunes and at Power97.com. Casey's Audio Vault.
Casey Norman is Power 97's music director and can be heard every weekday from 2 till 6 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Power 97 is Winnipeg's best rock.